Hello YouTube, this is IC-Aquarius86 and we're going to take a look at my Colt lightweight government model. I've had 1911s now for about 5 years and I've gone through all the brands. Not really, I've only gone through Colt and Springfield. My first 1911 was a Springfield GI model. Bought that back in '07 when I was still in the Air Force. Loved that gun. It was the most reliable gun I've probably ever owned, as long as I used ball ammo and good magazines. Sold it off to, well, you know how these things come up, bills and whatnot. Decided I was going to get Colt. Got a Colt 1091, which is their stainless steel 1991 model, and so had it for a week and had to go back to the factory. I was at the factory for a month. Came back, had a cracked slide, so decided, okay, maybe I'll give this another try. While I was at the factory, I had purchased another Colt, a 94. This was before I knew about the cracked slide on the other one. It was officer's model. It was a pretty nice little gun, a little too small for 45 ACP. So sold off that 1991 as fast as I could, pretty much a week after it got back. Then I wound up keeping the officer's model, and also purchased a Springfield loaded 9mm, and it, well, was a turd. A lot of 9mm Springfield, or I should say 9mm 1911s have issues, so, well, that didn't last long. So then I came up with this in January of this year, and here it is. Colt lightweight government model. Let's pull it out of the case here. As you can see, let's see if I can focus on this. There it is. Gorgeous gun. Absolutely gorgeous. And I've already safety checked this gun. Trust me, it's unloaded. Unloaded. Gun is absolutely gorgeous. However, it has issues. Apparently I'm just cursed with 1911s. Finish-wise, I mean, it is good. I mean, fit and finish is pretty good. I mean, it does have a slightly loose thumb safety here. Not too impressed, but that's kind of, I guess, average for an ambi. Really didn't care for the ambi to begin with, but so be it. I had originally replaced this full-length guide rod with the GI style, the two-piece, and I'll get back to that here in a second. But one thing you'll probably notice, you can probably just make out in this video, is that small scratch there on the side, on the dust cover. That is something a lot of people call the Colt slide rub. A lot of these Colts tend to have what you could best call well, their dust covers tend to be a little uneven, which you would think with a nearly $1,000 gun made on CNC machinery wouldn't have that issue. Yes, it does. Kind of irritating. But minor, doesn't really affect the functionality of the gun. What does affect the functionality of the gun, I've had issues with this gun, and one of the reasons my 1091 had to go back to the Colt, where the slide won't go fully back in the battery. The first gun, they polished the chamber and tuned the extractor. Issue happened exact same day I got it back. This gun, I don't know exactly what caused it. Some people say that the retaining plate for the firing pin gets stuck right here along the hammer, or the hammer notch. Let's see if I can focus in on that now. I don't know what it is. Never had that issue with non-Series 70 guns. Draw your conclusions there. I don't know if somehow the plunger is getting stuck down or what's going on with it, but combine that with the difficulties, I'll call them, I've had when reassembling the Series 80 levers inside of the gun here, that are inside the frame. I definitely prefer Series 70 just for detail strip purposes alone. I mean, I'd drop safety is nice and all, but if I'm dropping a gun, well, I'm probably a dumbass anyway. I'm not a cop. I'm not going to be running with this thing. If I'm running with a gun, well, I'm probably already screwed. It's a high quality gun, but at the same time, it's these little details inside of the gun. The high quality magazines. I'm using Wilson 47Ds in addition to these Colt OEM 8-rounders, which I usually load to 7. Let's see if I can focus in on this. You can see the prancing pony roll mark there. I always load these to 7. Still doesn't affect. It still has the same issues. It's a shame too. And then, probably a pretty minor gripe. The gun is a lightweight model. It's aluminum. Recoil on this is substantially more noticeable than on a steel frame. Doesn't make it very difficult to shoot, but it's definitely there and noticeable. And if you're used to steel frame 1911s and like the way they feel, you may not like the way the lightweight Government feels. When you're just holding it in hand, absolutely wonderful. It is a well-balanced, great, but the recoil, not so great for having fast target acquisition. If you're trying to do a quick follow-up shot, it's gonna be slightly more difficult. This gun likes to bounce around just a bit. I have a arched mainspring housing, which kind of helps it a bit. I had a tendency in the very beginning when I had a flat mainspring housing for it to try to almost come out of my hand. It would jerk up, and this kind of helped cure that tendency. Very firm gun for a Colt, and a lot of people who've handled Colts and other mid-grade 1911s will know what I'm talking about. It's a fairly solid gun, very little rattle. This is a brand new production gun, 2010, had less than 200 rounds through it, but I'm still getting rid of it. It just didn't mesh with me. Gorgeous gun, great for anybody else's collection, just not mine. I'm sure I've talked way too much already, but that's a quick look at my Colt Government Model lightweight framed 1911. All right, thanks, and hopefully tune in for another video.